Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. My name is TONIA, and today we're talking about you, beautiful Virgo people. I literally just love you, Virgo people, like love, love, love. You're on your square. You get the details, and just no other sign does it like a Virgo. But you know what? I have Venus and Jupiter well aspected, conjunct in the sign of Virgo, so that explains my love for you. But this video is not about me, it's about you. So we're talking about the new moon in Cancer that just happened on the 20th of July 2020. That is in full effect, Virgo, for a month until the next new moon, which will be in Leo. And we've officially, by the way, entered Leo season, which is incredible and fantastic and lovely. So, with that said, let's discuss more details. I know you love to break it down line by line as to what's going on with you and what you can expect, okay? This is a pretty intense new moon that just happened that we are currently under the influence of, Virgo, but it's in a really great house for you. That's the 11th house. So I think a lot of Virgo people out there are going to be experiencing some significant results in terms of their dreams, their aspirations, and just their big life goals. So if you're a Virgo who's been really working on something and you're expecting to kind of put some key components into play, trust and believe this message that you're about to hear is for you, okay? With that said, Virgo, a couple quick announcements that I'm excited to give to you. Number one, I have a course that I'm ready to launch in a week. The deadline is 1 week from now when you see this video, when it's posted, okay? So the deadline's August, and that's when I'm starting a 3-month intensive astrology course. If you want to be the astrologer, Virgo, or if you have a baseline understanding of astrology and you want to once and for all be able to look at a star chart, a natal map of what was happening in the heavens at the time that anybody was born, and actually know what that means, okay? How to interpret that, how to dissect that, how to put it all together again, okay? So we're doing the Mercury thing, breaking it all apart, and the Jupiter thing, big picture, okay? That is what this course is for. If you like engaged learning experiences where it's not just me talking to you, but you're involved in conversation, there's a once-a-week meetup and 3, not 1, but 2, but 3 personal one-on-one, 1 hour plus sessions that you will get with me if you choose to purchase and participate in that course, okay? So Virgo, please check that out if you want more details, WizdomDropz@gmail.com. I am so happy to share them with you. Also, I'm doing an astrology reading for anybody who needs it right now, just on a scholarship basis. So if that's something that's interesting to you, Virgo, please do reach out. Again, WizdomDropz@gmail.com. And with that said, let's get into your new moon forecast. Okay, first things first, as I just said, this is happening in your 11th house, but there's a direct opposition, if you didn't hear already, between the new moon in Cancer at 28 degrees and Saturn, okay, which is kind of like an OMG moment, because Saturn opposing that new moon is like, yeah, y'all can have new beginnings in your 11th house, Virgo, but check it. It's going to come with authority, discipline, structure, time, regimented application of efforts, delay, denial, and you're going to have to really like go against the grain in certain ways and like push against the resistance in order to get up to the top of that mountain, okay? So that's a real deal thing. And what are those things that you have to struggle with or challenge with or move beyond or push through, Virgo? It all has to do with the 5th house. So it's passion projects or creations of yours or small businesses of yours or children of yours if you're a Virgo, a child, care in your life, or kids in your life in a very significant, meaningful way, Virgo. So just be aware of that. That is a possibility. That some of the tensions in your life are going to arise from that thematic area or genre of life. Also, with the 11th house new moon aspect, this is the second new moon in your 11th house that you've had over the course of the last month. So because it's a blue moon, it's like the twice occurring new moon in the same sign, which is a rare event. That's why you hear once on a blue moon, right? So excuse me. With that said, just be aware that whatever has been starting there over the last couple months, Virgo, is relevant, okay? You know that already. Things are like, they're always in continuous flow, but just if you've been noticing things for the last couple months and now it's really starting to ripen and build, just understand that it's connected like that by this, celestially. Moving along, there's 2 other things I want to chat with you about in terms of the aspects being made. Mars and Chiron are currently conjuncting your 8th house of Aries, so that's really intensely significant, and we'll talk about it, but it's squaring the 11th house Mercury in Cancer at the time of this new moon, so that energy carries into the through the month. So with that said, you have that Mars and Chiron conjunction in Aries in the 8th house. That's a little sketch. That's something I want you to pay attention to. It's something I want you to be very careful about, Virgo, and very intentional about, okay? Because Mars and Chiron together, Mars is the battery. It's the energizer buddy of, the zodiac, of the planetary palette, along with the sun. But, it's the engine of the zodiac, of the entire planetary palette. So with that said, it's activating, it's bringing its energy to Chiron, the wounded healer. So where are you, Virgo, feeling wounded, feeling like you have something in you that is a marshmallow, but from that same place of ooey gooey marshmallow, you're also able to, like, yeah, you're susceptible there, yeah, you're vulnerable there, but you're also able to heal others and help others through service from that very place that is vulnerable. That's a Mars-Chiron conjunction. Now let's apply that to your 8th house. That's other people's resources, so you could be receiving some investment in yourself at this time, but it comes with a little bit of pain in some way, shape, or form, either for you or the investor. It could also be like you're activated to get more investment from others because of that, but it's causing you some type of psychological triggering of previous things, maybe in your soul, in your dharma, around accepting from others. That's kind of the theme. Also, be very, 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 very aware and careful not to get into debt that's going to kick your butt later, Virgo, down the road, because Mars in the 8th house makes you activated to, yeah, get investment, but also get loans, also get debt, okay, that maybe could actually cause you a lot of pain or is coming from a source of pain, Mars conjunct Chiron, okay, and perpetuates that pain, okay. However, maybe there's a lot of Virgos out there, you could be using this at a very high vibe level to do some psychological transformation, some processing of some things that you've been suppressing, Virgo, that haven't been happening, that haven't been getting processed, that need to be processed. That's another really constructive, way that you could be using that energy, Virgo. So just be aware. Honestly though, with the square between the 8th and the 11th, with Mercury there in the 11th, I think it is going to be a lot of this, whatever it is for you, if it's investment or debt or, transformation of your deep psychological wounds, 8th house with all that stuff there, it's going to be in some way related, Virgo, to your networks, to the larger groups of people that you are a part of, because it's squaring your 11th house. It's squaring networks, groups that you belong to, larger populations of people in one unified structure, 11th house, like different subpopulations, within a larger network. That's the 11th house. Also the dreams and the aspirations. So it's something about maybe it's making your dreams come true is going to require you to get an investor, but there's some woundedness that comes along with that. Also keep in mind that there could be an activation of healing with this. I don't want to keep stressing the wounded thing too much, but I want you to be aware that there is a wounded element. Even if this is a really constructive thing for you, there's a wounded element at play. Okay, Virgo? Now, last but not least, we also want to talk about your 10th house Venus squaring your 7th house Neptune. So this is important for you at work. I want every single Virgo out there to be aware that you could definitely be perceiving and the recipient of some deception in the workplace, because Venus square Neptune is all about delusions, disillusionment. Where have you been falling for somebody's act and it's really not the truth at the end of the day? Where have you been telling yourself a lie? The halo effect or whatever. Where have you been like, that person's a saint because I just like them, or that person's a devil, the horn effect, because they sucked at this one thing. Wherever that is, that actually, that perception does not actually line up with the real freaking deal, you're about to find out. I would say within the next month. So be aware and on the lookout for where you have been at fault when it comes to deception, or when people in your workplace who have been deceptive get caught and get handled. You know what I'm saying, Virgo? Because with that 10th house Venus, that's like relationships at work. Venus is the planet of relationships. Work is, the 10th house. More accurately, it's the career. So amongst your career environment, make that work for you, Virgo, wherever that means for you. Your career, not just your place of work. That's more the 6th house, but like your larger career. So even people within your larger networks, because this 11th house activation we talked about before, but especially involving with your career and how you are personally known out in the world. Your legacy house is being activated by this Venus squaring the Neptune in the 7th house, and that's partnerships. That's why I was so stressing on at your work environments, you could really have, even amongst committed partners, because that's the 7th house and Neptune is there in your 7th house, you could have a disillusionment of holy guacamole, that's what I thought was going on, that's not what was going on, this was what was going on. So just be aware, if you are a Virgo, I want you to be aware of that and prepared, because prepared Virgo is a great Virgo. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I hope that it helps you and it serves you. With that said, my friend, if you do want to check out my course, I am really jazzed to be offering it. I want to transfer that knowledge to you, Virgo. You're such capable people with so much incredible intellect, and you ask the most interesting, fascinating questions. It would be really great to have you there and to just give a cutting edge to that program that I'm offering in this small group of intimate learning, experience over the internet. So, yeah, and if you want a reading, again, it's WizdomDropz@gmail.com. With that said, my friend, through next time, and until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.